next week. It was a kind of surprise hit at the box office last week.
You know, the first number one in the box office this first weekend.
Yeah, I know. I was impressed. I didn't know how it was going to do, but people are still thirsty for more Dumb and Dumber.
Oh no! Like I had a few friends that saw it today. Apparently, said it was really funny. And the one thing too is, of course, you see all these articles saying, "Well, Jim Carrey says, well, I normally don't do sequels, but people have been bugging me, so like a decade later, decided to do it again." It's like, and I mean that's good. Whether that's a whole truth or not, I'm not sure. But I mean, I'm like I said, I'm looking forward to it. The first one was really funny. And they actually, when they went to the premiere of it, they actually showed up in blue and orange suits, but not the ones they had in the actual movie, but kind of I guess more sleek ones. But it's still a funny movie, and everybody remembers that scene when they come up to the gal and the bright orange and then like the powder blue suit, like with the frilly cravats and stuff like that.
Yes.
So I mean that would scene I always remember. Like I said, my favorite part from that scene is when Jim Carrey when Lloyd hits Harry in the back of the knee. I mean that would just I don't know why, but I thought that was so funny. Just when right with the rock, he just winds up and just cracks him out of nowhere. So I'm like I said, despite what you think of that movie, I'm going to see it regardless on Tuesday.
Well, more power to you. I mean, I'm willing to give any movie a chance. I just try to guard my expectations. But like with Horrible Bosses, I did have higher expectations, and they were just crushed. I'm hoping that but then again, it's just a week out from release, so I guess there's not going to be anything that can correct. They were taking surveys after the movie. I was like, yeah, give me that, because I have a few notes I'd like to make. But yeah, just very disappointing. I do not know what went wrong. It's very hard when you make a sequel to do something. Your best hope is to do something on the equal level. Surpassing the other movie, next to impossible.
No, fair enough, and I agree with that. But I mean, at least it should be funny. I mean, because like we talked about sequels the last time. Some of them they just drag on. Some of them are still funny, but not as funny as the first one, obviously. But they still have their funny moments. So. And they're still worth watching, especially since like most of them are all out on like DVD. You can find them online, that sort of thing. So, and like I said, I've watched a bunch of sequels, and a lot of them, yeah, they've sucked, and it's like, all right, no, I should be done now. Like, stop making other ones because now they're kind of just it's losing their edge. You're kind of getting the same jokes over again, so it's not as funny. It's like it's more kind of like, really, you're doing that again? You get nothing new. So
yeah, and that's how this whole sequel felt. Like they were just doing this one gag, and they instead of doing the gag again later, kind of having a recurring, they just dragged this bit out until it was deader, and then just super dead.
Blah 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 blah.
Well, do you know that scene in Bridesmaids when Rose Byrne and Kristen Wiig are both doing the toast to Maya Rudolph's character, and they just she keeps coming up there to try to outdo the other girl's toast.
Oh, right.
That, for me, it started out really funny, and then 10 minutes later, I was like, okay, all right, guys, let's pack it in. That was great.
Well, yeah, I'll see what I think, but chances are I'm probably gonna like it. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So. My expectations aren't real low, but they're kind of like right in the middle right now. But I still can't see me not liking the movie.
Oh well, I mean, as long as I think that's a good attitude to have.
So, but all right, well, so let's get back to your blogs, and since we've kind of sidetracked a little bit.
Sure, and then the last movie for this week is Exodus: Gods and Kings, which is Ridley Scott's. Well, he's going back to kind of what he did with Gladiator. He's making an epic sword and sandal film. Stars Christian Bale as Moses, who defies his brother, adopted brother, the Pharaoh of Egypt, so that he can free the slaves of Egypt and leads them in a revolt. This is obviously going to be very loose interpretation, from what I understand, of the biblical account. So there's already going to be controversy there, just like with Noah earlier this year, which basically all it had in common with the Bible story was that there was a guy named Noah, and he got on a boat.
All right.
All right. And so, I don't know. I did see the trailers, and it looks really good, and I do enjoy Christian Bale as an actor, so I'm definitely interested in seeing it, and I think the cinematography is really quite stunning. And the visualization is a lot better than... Did you ever see the movie Troy back in the day?
Yes.
that movie?
It was alright. I mean, it was one of my favorites. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, I definitely thought it wasn't bad, especially for those, and I'm a big fan of those kind of movies. It was very good. My only complaint watching was that cinematography was so ardent. It never really, or errant. It never really brought you into it. It felt very dry, and so it didn't feel like very epic, I think is what I'm trying to say. So I definitely feel this has a much more epic feeling to it, and the costuming and everything. And can we just talk about trailer music for a minute? The music they used in this was very engrossing, and I just really think how important it is to have a very good song in your trailer.
No, I can see that for sure. I mean, you want to sell the movie, so you want something obviously that's gonna sell and sound good. It's not always the easiest thing to do. I mean, but most movies try to do that. I mean, I'm trying to think because half the time I don't really pay attention to the music too much. I'll be honest. Like if it's for a trailer, I know I'm watching to see what's going on in the movie. Like because a lot of them is like this Saturday, you know, watch two people come head to head as they just try to figure out their problems with their love. You know, December 20th, come see whatever the movie is. You know, like
yes.
So I
totally know what you're talking
about. You know what I mean? But it's that sort of thing that kind of gets a little old sometimes. I mean, I know sometimes I guess it's kind of they kind of need it because they're kind of somewhat telling the story and with the little flashes they're showing. You don't get too much unless you hear the background is what the narration's talking about.
Yes, exactly.
But sometimes it does get a little old. I mean, but there are some movies I can think of that use like decent music for their soundtracks and soundtracks for the decent music for the trailer for the movie just because it sounded good and worked well. I mean, I'm pretty sure they used Rage Against the Machine for Matrix.
Yeah.
So and the stuff like that. I mean that was fitting. So I understand. Like I said, but normally I don't pay attention much to the music unless I kind of recognize a song.
That's very true. And then sometimes you'll hear a song, you're like, oh my god, what's that song? That's so awesome. I need to remember that for later.
Well, that's right. And even in the movies itself, when they kind of that little breakdown and they use music, but I'm not necessarily talking about the kind of the cheesy love scenes where it's like dun dun dun, you know. So I'm the one scene that sticks out to me the most that had a really good song for the scene was Vanilla Sky, and that's one of my favorite movies. I really like that movie. And the scene is when Tom Cruise comes out of the building and the streets of New York are completely empty. There's not one car on the road, and they're playing a song by Radiohead called "Everything in the Right Place" from their album Kid A, and that could have been a better tune to kind of play in that instance.
Yeah, that is a great scene.
So there's my 2 cents on that.
It is, its music plays such an important role in how it complements a movie. I think one time I watched a making of on a DVD, and they showed you how putting this different song instead of the one that that was so memorable, how it really threw off the entire scene. So it is the people who do those scores are so gifted and talented, and sometimes it kind of gets overlooked because it's all part of the bigger experience. You don't really think about it. Which is good, because if you're really thinking about, like, wow, what is that song doing here? Like, the movie Stardust, there was a song every 2 minutes. Calm down over there. Calm down. You just hear the orchestra just going crazy as they were watching the movie. And, wow, this is going to be great. They're just walking. It's okay.
Yeah, unless it's a musical, we don't need music every 5 seconds.
Exactly. But and there was a movie I saw recently where there wasn't. Oh, I know what it was. It was The Judge with Robert Downey Jr. and Robert Duvall. I went to go see that last week, and it was really good. It was a great movie, but they had hardly any music and so people were in the theater. Can I eat my popcorn? Because it's so quiet. They would have really benefited from a more lush instrumentation throughout the movie, because it is I guess they were just trying to go off how raw and it is, and obviously when we're in our normal life, we don't hear songs, which I wish we did, because I think that would make life a lot more fun.
Right.
Can you just see yourself at work you're driving to work and you're hearing this amazing, amazing orchestra going behind you? It would just really help your day, don't you think?
Sure, I guess. Possibly.
Yes, definitely, possibly. I mean, it was worth a shot.
Oh, you never know. I mean, but so is that it for your blogs? Do you have any more you want to share?
Oh yeah, I have. There's a few let's talk abouts coming up. Basically, movies you like, that no one likes. Movies you like, no one likes, and then the reverse of that, movies that everyone likes and you cannot stand. Which kind of sums up how I feel about this whole Hunger Games madness. I do not. I really, truly do not get it. I don't. I watched the first two movies, and it was very painful. And apparently now I'm going to be gearing up for a third. So just help. Someone save me.
Well, you gotta step on me because I haven't seen either.
You are not missing anything. I do not get the craze around it. I really, truly don't. I get why people would get excited about the movie Divergent. That was really good, but I'm just really over the whole post-apocalyptic stuff and kids killing kids. Nah, that doesn't. I feel like that's over the top.
No, fair enough. Yeah, I probably won't watch them period because I have no interest at all. In even without your review of them, I have no interest at all.
Yeah, well, I hear you. I don't really know who. I'm very curious to know why people. I mean, I get why people like them, but it's just the lead character, Katniss. I don't really enjoy her as a heroine. She complains about her life. I know her life sucks. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, really, she in the second movie, her life improves, and she's still complaining. And I get she doesn't want to be with Peeta. Just let the guy off the hook. I mean, stop taking his bread.
Okay, no fair enough.
he's a baker, so that's why he's making bread.
Right. Well, I did not know that.
Insider thing.
I did not know that.
That's a fun fact of the day for you.
Right on. So that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. And next week we'll have to talk about it just because I'm not going to be around on Friday. I'll be out of town. So we'll talk about it off air. Then we'll set a date and let everybody else know. But until then, guys, thank you so much for listening to Bloggers Corner. This has been Dr. Bones and Britt.
Happy blogging.
Until next time, thanks for listening. Bones out.